I'm eating as
Good
always, bro.
morning. What's up, Joe Leal? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I'm eating as always, so don't mind me.
It's all good. It's all good, bro.
Came from the gym.
Give it a few minutes and see who else jumps on here. Yeah, I went to the gym earlier, got my workout on, working on my mindset. We'll talk about that a little bit here, mindset, and some other things. But yep, I did that. And man, I've been eating clean about 3 weeks now, I guess. So challenge. What is it? A big taco?
Grilled ham and cheese with egg.
Yeah, plenty of protein. The
Plenty
egg
of
has
protein.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's good, bro. That's good.
But I've learned, as I was telling Jeff yesterday, when I lost my weight, and even now people are telling me, man, like, that I've lost weight today. And I'm like, I'm not trying to lose weight,
Yeah,
but I've been doing a lot of like when I work out, like I'll do like 4x21, 4x30, 4x18, sometimes a little heavier. So I do a lot of sets.
right.
But when I lost all my weight, I would eat clean. When I first started, I had one cheat meal on Sunday. So from Monday to whatever, I would eat clean no matter what. And then on Sunday, the first Sunday, I would eat one cheat meal. So whether it was but I still stayed away from tacos, I stayed away from bread, but I would do like a pasta, or I would do like a hamburger,
Yeah,
like something out of the ordinary, or something red meat, potatoes, like I'd have a cheat meal.
right.
And then the following Sunday, I would have a cheat day. Like I would just, like, the whole day I would eat, because what happens is that your body's clean, like your body's eating clean. And then so your body's getting used to it. And then you eat something bad and it throws it into shock.
Right.
And then you
Right.
eat clean again. So, and I lost 32 pounds in like almost 33 pounds in 2 months.
Dang. Yeah,
I haven't
that's
kicked it
good, bro.
off. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, yeah, man. I think as far as for me, going forward with power, I just think, and I think it'll come with time. I just got to deep dive more into it, which I was planning on today, which is I need to it's product knowledge.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about everything, whether it's real estate, whether it's LO, or with me back in the day when I worked at Champs. I mean, everything for me was just product knowledge. You can't
Right.
get
Right.
anywhere without product knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And that's Philip Garza. And that's one of the things, bro. In anything that involves, a sale, right? The sale of something, or it's product knowledge. I mean, ultimately, some folks are great on their heels. Some folks can think right off the cusp, right, and be quick, with product knowledge, and some folks need to have the security of knowing the product, right. And I see one of the guys here on the call, man, like Javier knows product, bro. Like he works full time. He's on a tugboat, man. I mean, he works full time on a tugboat, but he plugs in when he's got the opportunity for that product knowledge. Me myself, I'm probably, in all transparency, I'm probably not the dude that has the most product knowledge. I can tell you about product, but not the deep dive. You know what I mean? I'm not a deep dive guy when it comes to that. My strengths, are in other things. I can figure out and show you which product I believe is the best for these reasons. But man, when it comes to the deep dive, there's a lot of other guys that are more deep than myself. So let me welcome everybody. It's 10:04.
Solar, or what you're still doing, you're having appointments, you're having discussions, even if they're just off the cuff. I mean, I was at the bank the other day talking to one of the bankers that we know each other real well, and we were sitting in his office, and solar came up. It always happens to come up, right? And right away, he started hitting me with basically all the same old. He said his wife. These are his wife's thoughts, right? I don't think he wanted to claim them, but I think they were there, right? About how they look on the roof and all that kind of thing, and you just kind of have to just focus on well, is it, do you hate the look of the roof, or do you hate your bill being so high? Like you have to lead them in the direction of, I'm trying to help, I'm trying to
Right.
solve the problem. And it's the same when I'm talking to home buyers or home sellers, homeowners, when I'm on the real estate investing side,
Sure.
I don't know how many times I'm talking to them and they're like, well, somebody John down the street's house sold for 250,000, and literally across the street sold for 250. I think I should get 250. And
Yeah.
you gotta walk them through that whole scenario of, well, it's not the same house. He's got extra bedrooms, or he's got extra bathroom, or it's fixed up, but then you kind of gear them back in. But this is what I can do for you, for your home. This is the kind of opportunity. You're always kind of gearing them and maneuvering them to see the advantages and the features and whatever the benefits are, versus because if I get in that same boat with them, like, yeah, you're yeah,
Yep.
if you just stay on CPS sucks, well, yeah, that just because they might, you need to get them off of that, right? You get them moving over into like why they need to make some decisions. That's just my, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. I find anybody else, Rob or Javier, did y'all have any observations on that?
Yeah, man. No, just to kind of piggyback on what both of y'all were saying, really. It's the mindset that you prepare yourself for is the mindset that you can easily slide into. So if you keep preparing yourself, like even outside of those conversations, and just make everything that you do kind of have the mindset of like, well, how can I turn this into a positive? It's real easy to do that in your conversations about solar or sales or whatever it is that you're doing. And like similar to what Philip was saying, when they start talking about the negatives, go to the other pieces of positive, like you said, mentioned, like, well, do you like your house, your roof looking ugly, or you like having a high bill? That's a great one. I always go into like like almost like a, even if I'm not a subject matter expert, but like I kind of go into that mode of like a subject matter expert. I'll quickly acknowledge what they say, like, yeah, no, you're right. You obviously rates are getting affected everywhere. Anything that has to do with financing, but what we try to do is offset the dealer fees, right? And so I won't refer to them dealer fees, but I'll refer to them as origination fees because they're familiar with that term and from when they bought their house. And I'll say, a lot of times you'll have those low APRs, but they're tied into high origination fees. So what we try to do is mitigate that. So yeah, we're dealing with higher APRs, but we're able to compensate, your savings by bringing down those fees from 30 to 37% down to maybe 20 or 14 or 12%, depending on what the product is. And so we try to meet you in the middle. We're trying to help you. And when they see that we're trying to do what we can to help them, man, the guard comes down. They're like, oh, I didn't think about that. And then they're like, 30%. I'm like, yeah, it's like it almost offsets the tax incentive, kind of throw little comments like that out.
Yeah.
It's like, but here we are, we're trying to, keep you on top. We want to keep you in the black, ultimately. And those kinds of things are what helps build the rapport and the trust. Because once you have their trust, it doesn't matter what their concerns are. They know that you're the problem solver, right? And then you can, take that trust and show them how you can solve their problems. And it doesn't become a matter of, their perspective versus your perspective. It becomes a journey that you're both going on to try to help them win. So then everything y'all are saying is awesome and spot on. And that's just kind of my take on it, as far as how I address those types of things.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I mean, we could paint ourselves into a corner easily if we're not able to do some of that, like you said, and being able to help explain to them, how we're offsetting, how we're adjusting, how we're, you know what I mean? Like you said, put it into their terms, something that they understand, that's tangible, right? So that
Yep.
they realize that, oh, it is a true savings, and not get stuck on, because everybody knows interest rates related to cars, interest rates affect your car payment, right?
Right.
Like we all know that. We all know that interest rate affects your house payment. So they quickly equate those things to their solar payment, but they don't realize that, we're talking like pennies on the dollar versus hundreds of on the dollar. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you talk interest rate for solar, it's not the same as it would be for your house payment. You know what I mean? Where it's a big difference. You're talking pennies on the dollar for a solar payment interest rate versus Because and that's the thing. Most folks are looking at the monthly payment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now there are, of course, we do have those customers, right, that are looking at the big number. Well, if it's going to be $40,000 for my system, I don't want it. Okay, well, let's look deeper in that. But the majority of folks that I have dealt with, they're looking at the savings because they're tired of $300, $400, $500 month utility bills in the summer, or whatever that may be, right? Or whatever the savings is, because as we all realize on the call, we're never going to stop renting our utilities unless we go solar. Like that's it. You can't. There's no other game plan for that. There's no other solution, right?
You know what I've done also in the past? Sorry, not to cut you off, man.
Sure.
If you, yeah, I apologize. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
should have started. So what I've done too is I'll show them, I'm like, well, we do have lower interest rates closer to what you're probably thinking. And then I'll show them how the origination fee affects that product. So I'll say,
Yeah.
you know what, especially if they say, well, I heard that someone else, my neighbor, like you said, got this rate or whatever. I was like, they maybe did, obviously the rates were lower, but that doesn't change how the origination fees are associated. So they may have actually paid more on the bottom line than what you would be paying, even though your APR is a little bit higher. And then I'll show them. So I'll pause because I do virtual selling, right? I'll pause my screen. I'll update the loan to a lower APR and I'll unpause it. Let me update my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I show them the price tag. I say, see, your APR is now 2.99 or whatever, but look, now you're going to pay $15,000 more for your system than you would if you went with the 3% APR, the 4.9% APR, whatever. And I said, look, I'm saving you $15,000 right off the bat. Now, of course, the interest is higher, but then I show them like the independent stuff that we get from like GoodLeap and things like that, where they show that the average solar customer pays off their system in 5 to 7 years. And so I say, if you're disciplined, if it's really that important to you, and you're disciplined, you're already used to paying what your electric bill is now. You could throw that money back towards the principal and be paid off in 5 to 7 years. And then you're only looking at whatever usage you have or fees are associated with the utility company.
Yeah.
That way you're paying less interest, not only, or right, you're paying less money, not only on the price tag, but also in interest from a dollars and cents perspective. And so if they're going to go down that trail, I want to go down there with them, but I want to guide them to look at factual data, right? And then once they start putting the numbers together in their own head, based off of the guidance I'm giving them, then they're like, okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, let's go back to that other one with the lower price tag, and then it's a done deal at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a great way to educate, right? Educate the consumer,
That's
on
the name of the game. Yeah.
to what we're doing, and how it's helping them and benefiting them,
Yep.
Not so much convincing them, it's just educating them, right?
Yeah. I start off every call like that. I tell them, my goal here is not to sell you on anything. My goal is to help educate you so that you can make the best decision for you and your family, because that's your job, is to make the best decision. My job is just to educate you.
Yeah.
And between the two, if we're able to work together to accomplish that, then awesome. I'm on board. I'm here with you every step of the way. And if you decide it's not the best decision, well, at least you made an informed decision.
That's
That
it.
way you're not leaving anything on the table. And then then it's not a sales call at that
Yeah.
point. Just a
Yeah,
conversation.
I like that, Rob. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. Anybody else have any observations on that, Joe?
No, I mean, the few things that you and I have been on, the few consultations, I mean, you've kind of touched the same thing as far as Rob's done. I mean, even when we had, Dario, like, hey, Joe, like, like you got good credit, I got good credit, why am I getting, 3.99? Why am I not getting anything lower? And then you said, like, hey, we go, let me show you why we can do this, but it's going to cost you more. And so we gave him that visual and he went for it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's just all about
ultimately,
just, education.
yep. And ultimately being able to show them, like, here it is, you can definitely have that interest rate if you choose, but by going this route, which I felt, and that's what we told them, right? We felt that this is the best package for you, the best option with your solar system plan that we put together. This is the best interest rate for your dollar, and this is why. And then we did show that customer straight up. I was transparent and showed them, okay, let's see what it would look like if you had, the lowest interest rate available at the moment, right? This is how much more your system would cost you. So we built it out as a balance versus in cost and savings and monthly, because we knew that ultimately, and his deal was a little different. You know, there was some variables there, but ultimately that is the key. Yeah. Yep. Javier, any observations on that, brother? How are you doing?
Yeah, can you hear me okay or no?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Uh-huh.
Okay, okay. I am on a towboat. I'm in the middle of the bayou right now. I'm
Nice.
over here. I'm over here at Intercoastal City, so in the middle of the bayou. Literally, I'm in the bayous right now. Glad to
That's
be on
cool.
here. You know, going back to mindset, you were talking about mindset. One of the first things that I always start out with and it's just gratitude, just to be grateful for what we have. Number one, you know, whoever you want to follow or the universe or whatever.
The bayou took all the
But
goodness out of there.
that's the first thing.
Are you there?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so, yeah, can
We
you hear
heard
me?
we heard gratitude. Outside of that, the
Hello?
bayou took all the goodness.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me see if I get a better signal. All right. Can you hear me a little bit better or no?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Okay. So anyways, I start out with gratitude as far as my mindset. That's the first thing I do in the morning is I listen to positive affirmations, something grateful. I usually do an audio with it. Bob Baker, somebody I follow a lot on YouTube. And then from there, I kind of go spiritual and I listen to something spiritual from Joel Osteen. And then I start my day. And my day is to give people an opportunity to have electricity at the lowest cost possible with an ROI, a rate of return. My job is to help them understand, not just get a sale and a commission and a loan for them and put more debt on top of them, but to really see the value. And guys, one thing that we really need to focus on is what are they gonna pay? Hold on one second. Give me a second. Hold on. I gotta answer this real quick. Hold on.
Well, if I can jump in,
Yeah.
kind of just on mindset and just, it's an exercise that takes a lot of practice, I think. Or at least that's what I'm finding.
100%. Yeah.
It's like anything else, like working out or learning a new skill. I mean, you've got to practice it all the time, but you also have to like protect it, right? Because you're out there, whether it's leads or just out there in the world talking to other people, there's going to be, a lot of negativity, right, coming at you about whether it's about you, what you're doing, how you're doing it, whether it's solar, why you're doing solar, whatever. Just you have to guard it, you have to protect it, you always have to be working on it. It's not like you just flip a switch kind of thing, it's a you're going to go through those peaks and valleys. You're going to go through, dry spells, whether it's through leads or just like stuff's not working right. You still got to kind of keep it there. Hey, things are going to turn around, things are going to be better. Just keep going. I know if I stay consistent, keep doing what I'm doing, the results will come. But whether it's personal, business, whatever, you've got to always kind of to be thinking about it. I mean, it's like a muscle. You got to like, because I'll find myself falling back into that for a few minutes, like, oh shit, like, and then it's like, no, okay, what can I do? I make lemonade, right? I say that to myself in my head all the time. I'm gonna make lemonade. I'm just gonna make lemonade. I got lemon. I gotta make some lemonade with it and just move on. Awesome. What's the best situation I can make out of this? And it's just something. It's not the best mantra, but it's the one that I work with, and it's one that I use. And it helps me in everything I do, and and it just keeps me going. That's just something. So if anybody needs, you have to have some sort of exercise internally that just when stuff gets hard, you just got to keep going, and just you need something to kind of be that primer to get you back up up there
Yeah.
because it's a work. It takes work, it takes effort. And then it's not just your internal kind of mode, because everybody has a baseline, right? They're all kind of set at a certain level. Some
Sure.
people are real low all the time, and some people are just always like, yeah, let's go, I'm not there, I'm not that kind
Yeah.
of, they're always like, well, what are you on, dude? You're just always happy,
We're on lemonade.
I'm not there. I got to work at it, I'm trying to raise my baseline, so I'm a little, I'm always up here a little more.
Right.
But it takes a lot of work, and and again, and it's also just who you're hanging around with mindset, right? It's this group, like that's why I'm on this call. That's why I'll try to be on everything, because if you're just in a box, you can get tired just trying to keep your own self, your
Oh,
own.
man.
You got to be in the vicinity of other people that are on that your kind of level, you're playing, of trying to be positive, trying to be go get it, and that's what it's about to me.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know, in December, I hit 50. I turned 50 in December, man. And I've told this to a couple of folks, recently. I was moving right along in life, man, and then grinding and pushing and hustling and doing everything that I do, and then it just hit me. Life hit me, and I was like, oh man, like, whoa. And it knocked me down for a minute, so I was down, for a little bit, and I had to work on my mindset. And I love the example that Javier gave of his morning, the way he starts his morning, because that's exactly where I have had to change my mindset. I used to be, before I went to bed, the last thing I did before I went to bed was make sure I checked emails, text messages, and Facebook and social media for the business. That was my ritual for forever. And then in the morning, the first thing I would do is grab my cell phone before my feet even hit the ground and write in it again: emails, text messages, social media, business. That's how my routine had been for many years, many years. And you know I had to switch that mindset for my own health, for my own benefit, right, to be more functional. And now I don't do that. I before I even look at my phone in the morning, before I even touch my phone, honestly, I pick up a book and some positive scripture, and affirmations and things like that from biblical, and I'm reading through that, and that has been a good mindset change for me. So I feel like I'm making adjustments, me personally, for my mindset to move a little slower. And I've always said this. I think you guys may have heard me say this maybe before. We should be sharpshooters versus shotgun. Our approach and what we do should be fine tuned versus the shotgun approach, which is a blast and just see what sticks, right? If you've ever been dove hunting or bird hunting, you shoot a shotgun, and 2 or 3 of those pellets is probably going to take out the bird, right? But not the whole wad, right? Whereas with a sharpshooter, if you're deer hunting or animal hunting other than a bird, right? It's one bullet projectile that's going to take out that animal. And so my mindset has had to refocus back to that and being very intentional. So I start my day that way, and I end my day that way now, pushing out the distractions so that my mindset is whole. Basically, that's what's helped me. And it's only day 19 of the year, and I'm still trying to hold fast to that. But the last few weeks, I'm moving into a slight change of my mindset on how I operate and do certain things, in business. And I believe that that'll help me with my growth and who I am, as a friend to you guys, as a friend to many, as a leader to many, as a mentor, as a coach, all of those things, right? The titles, right? Whatever they may be. But I think ultimately, that mindset change will help me be a better person for myself and for my family too. So it's great to hear you know, the perspectives and the observations you guys have, and some of that stuff, you know, because we have to be in tune together. And, you know, this call that we do weekly benefits me too. You know, being able to speak with you guys and bounce the stuff off of each of you, and that kind of stuff, you know. So, you know, I appreciate y'all plugging in. You know, sometimes we
I got two more things for you that are on my mind that I just want
bring
to
it,
share with you.
Javier. Bring it, brother.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we've already done the mind thing, okay? We did the mind, we did the affirmations, we did the reading, we did the positive thinking, we may have even done the journal. That's great, okay? That's something for the mind. Then we do something spiritual for our body, read some scriptures or listen to Joel Osteen or whoever you listen to. Now it's time to take action. It is time for you physically, not mentally, not spiritually, but physically. Number one, you're going to take 10 deep breaths before you do anything on the side of your bed, while you're laying in bed, whatever, maybe before your feet hit the floor. 10 deep breaths. You're going to oxygenate your blood vessels. This is going to give you more oxygen for your blood vessels for whatever the reason, for anything. That's a lot. I'll just put it that way. That's physical. Then you're going to do 10 squats when you stand on your feet. 10 squats. You're going to go and hit the ground. You could even on the edge of your bed do 10 crunches with your legs to your chest. This is action. This is action. This is the shit we got to do to be successful. Because if you're not knocking doors, there's no action. If you're not making phone calls, there's no action. How do you expect your team to do action when they're not even doing action first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
The mental, yes. The spiritual, yes. But what about the physical? You got to do the physical. And you're going to be the leader of this. I work out every day. I walk every day. I run every day. I work out every day. I lift weights every day. I stretch every day, every day. It's action. So for you, you want to start out the morning, you do crunches, ab crunches on the edge of your bed, or you can lay on the floor and do crunches. You do push-ups, 10 push-ups. I'm not telling you 100 push-ups. I'm telling you 10 push-ups, just 10. But this is you starting that action, that discipline, that consistency. Now, if you become physically fit from it, congratulations. And guess who's going to see that? Oh, wow, you're looking great. You're looking wonderful. I see you're putting on muscle, or you're losing weight or whatever. Yes, because every morning I take action. Then that will go into whatever else you're doing, door knocking, making phone calls, sending messages. Those are all action-oriented things, because you can be a silent solar representative, but you got to take action. So squats, sit-ups, push-ups, calf raises, and I think there's one more. If you got some dumbbells, you can curl those and do your biceps. Just 10. Just 10. That's all you got to do. And then you start your day with what you need to do. Door knocking, sending messages. What I call them is IPA, income producing activities. Sending 10 messages, there's action. Making 10 phone calls, there's action. Knocking 10 doors, that's action. Now I'm talking just one day. Talking to 10 commercial businesses. We got residential, we got commercial. Sending 10 messages to commercial, to residential. Because guys, if you don't see it yet, commercial's the next wave. And then education. Okay, now I need to study 1 hour out of my day on product. We were talking about product a while ago. That's right. Yeah. Product, financing, roofing. Are you roof certified? Are you finance certified? Are you tier 1 certified? Are you tier 2 certified? When's the last time you did your certification? Was it a year ago, 2 years ago? Hey, there's nothing wrong with recertification yourself and get up on the things that are up to date. And then education of what's going on in the world. One thing I was going to say is we have to show the rate of return for our customers. And everybody's really hard on us because we're solar sales guys. And it's really tough because they're saying, oh, well, it's a ripoff and I'm going to get a loan for $40,000 or $50,000. Hey, whoa. You've got a battery in there. You've got storage. Let me ask you, Mr. Customer, What is your emergency backup when the power goes out? Why, I don't have one. Well, I'm offering that to you. You're going to have a battery. You have, what's the value in that? When you have no power, what are you left with? Nothing in the dark. But when you have a battery with me, you're going to have essential lights, internet, TV, Wi-Fi. You're going to be good to go while everybody else is in the dark. Oh, okay. Oh, and by the way, what is the rate of electricity going up right now? 4% or 6% or 10%? Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I know you didn't. I'm trying to show you. Let's look at it. 5 years. Oh, your payment's 200. Oh, look, in 5 years, it's 400. Oh, look, in 10 years, it's 600, 700. Educate yourself on those things. Take an hour out of the day, make those intentional. But guys, one of the things is, mindset. But you, not only do you make your mind strong, make your body strong. When the body becomes stronger, the mind becomes stronger. So I just going back to mindset, I've been doing it for years, and I could go all day on this, man. Thank you so much for letting me be on here. I appreciate y'all guys, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Javier. It's always a pleasure to hear, what you have to offer, value bombs. You helped encourage me early on when I got into solar and gave me some valuable tips. So I always appreciate when you're on the call and provide insight, man. I really do, brother. Joe, Rob, Philip, anything on that?
I mean, it's just, to kind of touch base too. It's not mindset. It's just, it's discipline.
Yeah.
You gotta just stick to it. You see me on my post. I'm surgical with my fucking daily actions. Like my morning routine is, I've been doing it now for the last, I don't know how many months, and I stick with it, and I've been busy because it's just, it's not mindset, but it's you got to stay disciplined. That's the main thing. Because without discipline, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning. Before I do anything in the morning, I get up, I take my vitamins. I drink my apple cider vinegar, my little drink, my little concoction, other vitamins, let the dogs out, have a little snack, and then I go to the gym. I'm at the gym for an hour and a half to 2 hours every day, but I do that daily. And as soon as I get to the gym, I post my little motivational or my little quote. Like, I don't post that unless I'm at the gym. So it's just certain things that I do, and I just stay disciplined with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier said than done, but
yeah, good stuff, man. Well, guys, unless y'all have any questions or any other insight, we're coming up on a little over half an hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time and stuff. And I think that mindset and discipline go hand in hand, definitely. I think that we have to have both of those in tune, right? Because as I was writing down some notes from what you guys had said, one of them that I'm looking at right now, 10 messages, 10 doors, 10 phone calls, right? Even something as simple as that is the action that could build up some traction for you. Even something as simple as that, like Javier said, it's only 10. You know what I mean? It's only 10. Physically, 10 squats, 10 crunches, 10 push-ups. It's only 10, but that action could be the things that help us build into if we lack it, the mindset or the discipline that we need. That could be the catalyst to help us get set up for further success. All of us on the call have had success, right? We're successful people. But it could be a catalyst to help us push for more success, So ultimately, that was the goal of this call for me, of this Zoom, this time, was to talk about mindset and, how we can help each other understand and maybe provide some value to one another about how we could help each other be more successful, different tidbits here and there, and, things that we do. Lemonade, man, I love it, right? Lemonade, because whatever it is that works for you is key for you, but maybe somebody else could take something from there, you know, so, and, you know, I appreciate you guys. Javier, did
One
you have
more-
something?
One more thing, man, one more thing.
Yeah.
Let's do some more action. One Facebook post. Okay, one Instagram post. One LinkedIn post. LinkedIn would be more for recruiting our ambassadors. Okay, that's what you're gonna focus that one on because it's more business, you know, hiring door knockers or something like that, you know, whatever you
Right.
need. Okay. One Instagram post. The Instagram is really, it's just a one-shot deal. It's maybe your ad, it's your something, just info, just news, something. Facebook's more personal. It's just, hey man, I like Joe said, and motivational. It doesn't always have to be about solar, but it's good to be about solar because like we have to be consistent with our exercise, our mind. We need to show people, because trust me when I tell you, they're gonna look back on your feed. Trust me when I tell you, they always look at your feed and they look at the dates. So if you post something about solar today and they go back a month from now and you don't post nothing about solar, they're really not going to be interested. This guy's not in it to win it. I don't believe him. He's sporadic. 1 month he talked about solar. Next month he talked about it one time. Trust me when I tell you, they're going to look. So be consistent, just like everything else you did today or this morning. Be consistent with that. One post Facebook, one story. One story. Make sure you do one story of something, Facebook, a video, your ad, something, but one story per day. That's another action you can take because social media and virtual is what we do. Capitalize on that. You're going to be super successful with it and just knock it out of the park. One other thing, birthdays. Whenever you see a birthday, always wish them happy birthday. Always. This gets you from being so sleazy salesman and all of a sudden you start talking to them. No, always look for those birthdays. Say happy birthday. I wish you the best day today. If you ever need anything, let me know. I'm here to help, you know. And you don't have to say about solar. You don't got to say that. They're going to relate. They're going to go back. Oh, I wonder what Javier's been doing. I wonder what, Jacob's been doing. Like, oh, look. Oh, he's in solar. Oh, cool. I haven't heard from him for a year. You know what? I was thinking about going solar. Let me talk to Jacob and see what's going on. Boom,
Yeah.
shakalaka. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka. There it is.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
That's
All
awesome.
right, fellas. Well, I won't keep y'all unless y'all have any parting comments or thoughts.
No, it was great, Jacob. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, all the input from everybody. And just keep going, man. Just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure, man.
fellas.
Thanks for putting this on, buddy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate y'all.
Y'all
Appreciate
have
y'all.
a great
putting
day,
in.
guys.
All right, guys.
Likewise, sir.
Have a great day.
Take care, gents. Bye.
Thank you, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.